So the dark side of self-improvement is critical to know. So as you improve on yourself and where you want to go, you understand some of the dark sides of going there. I'm Dr. J, and welcome to Two Doc Minds. So we all go through dark sides as we go through self-improvement. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about, no good deed go unpunished. And that's also inclusive of you self-improving. When you self-improve, there's also a dark side of doing that. And we're going to talk a little bit about the dark side and some stories related to it. So if you liking this content and like some of our content, please hit that notification bell so that you can get the content as it comes out. But also hit us in the comment section. Let us know how you're liking this video. Press 1 if you hear me. But there is a dark side to self-improvement. So there is a dark side to self-improvement. And when you're going through self-improvement, I want you to think about the process, right? So that process it's tough, very challenging to change your behavior, right? It's very challenging to change your patterns. It's very challenging to change those habits, right? And so what do I mean by it's very challenging to change those habits? Well, it's tough. Right? It's tough if I'm used to getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning, but now I'm forced to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. That change is going to be tough until I readjust to it. So that transition is going to be tough. Sometimes it's going to take a long time. It won't happen overnight. If I'm changing something, it won't happen overnight. Sometimes it takes time to do it, right? And it's frustrating. So, I'm going after this certification to help, do some things that I'm working on. And I was very excited, right? But I knew I was working. I was doing some other hobbies that I enjoy, but I also then tried to infuse this certification into my life. Family, kids, a lot of things that I love to do, right? And so it was hard transition for me to start, number one, preparing myself to just sit down and reading. Right. And not reading some fun, good literature, but reading kind of a textbook. Right. It was also tough for me to sit down and do Q&A, questions and answers, and practicing. It was difficult. Right. And so I had to start off small, start off with, reading 15 hours a day, doing 15, 20 questions a day. And then as I got used to it, kind of increasing those timelines. But that first transition was tough. From when I started to when I finished, it took me 6 months, and it was frustration all in that process. So everyone goes through that process. That's called self-improvement. When you go through that, that's not so much the tough times, but that's that transition time that really just frustrates you. But what is the dark side of self-improvement? Well, self-improvement, when you are now transitioning from what you were doing to what you're trying to do, the tough piece is you're going to build new relationships. So what happened? Those old relationships get frustrated. Dr. J, you're not spending enough time with me. Dr. J, you're not doing what you usually do with me. Dr. J, we used to go to movie nights on this day and watch the ball game on this day, and you're not showing up anymore. Why? Because I transitioned from those relationships to Dr. J to relationships that says, hey, we're excited about growing the business. Hey, we're excited about leading an organization. Hey, we're excited about doing some self-development. So where those new relationships, they were focusing on those things where my old relationship wasn't. So the dark side of those relationships is I had to leave a few people behind because they are not moving in the same direction where I'm looking to go, right? So you got to drop, right? And that was tough because I had to hear all the haters, all the bickering, all the craziness, right? And I had to stand on what I thought was good. So where they knew me in one light, as I start to change, I started to see myself different. I started to move different, and they noticed it. And that caused some friction in that relationship, right? The next thing is that your experiences will change. So what does that mean? The dark side about your experiences is that you would experience something with a group of folks. I may experience watching a ball game with this group of folks, and then I've changed, and now I enjoy watching the ball game with this group of folks, right? I don't show up at this event, but now I go to this event. Causes a lot of friction, and that's the tough part and the dark side about it. The other dark side about it is simply this: the opportunities that you thought was good. So when you look at the dark sides about relationship and those experiences, it's challenging because you're changing who you are with. But also you have to look at the dark side internally to yourself. When I am making these transitions, right, and I'm proving myself, right, the dark side is I want to make sure that I'm doing it based upon what I want to do and not others. Far too long, people are wanting things because they see other people. It's in the social media world. I know we're on social media right now, but you only see the positives. So looking at a celebrity, right, you saw positives on their whole Instagram post or YouTube, because we're on YouTube now. You saw those positive experiences. So you're thinking generally, these people are so happy. I can't believe that, they're doing all these wonderful, great things. And then you find out a week later, they're no longer together. And they erased each other from each other's social media, right? And you'd be like, what went wrong? Well, because sometimes social media is that fraud where it looks good, but it really isn't. Or I'm doing it because I'm seeing someone else do it, and I think that's going to fulfill me. No, you have to look inside and see what fulfills you. You can never set a self-improvement or some goal based upon what you think others will feel about you. You have to do it because it makes you feel good. Not what I don't give a darn what nobody thinks about me. I'm going to do it because it's me. And anybody that knows Dr. J know that I do things that makes me feel good, makes the people that I love around me feel good. But everybody else outside that sphere, I could care less, right? And so making sure that you make decisions that works for you, not for other people. So when we talk about that dark side, it's losing those relationships, those experiences with others, and eventually having to shut people out of your life, right? But I want you to grow based upon what fulfills you, not what fulfills others. So the key development is to do something simple. Listen to yourself. Know what's right for you, and then move forward in that. Make sure you do things that gives you peace, that gives you joy, that gives you motivation to want to move forward. And when you select self-improvement goals based upon that, you will be successful. It's like you have to do it at your own pace. You have to do it because it's something that you want to do, and you have to grow based upon your timelines, not others. For example, if I'm a child, an infant, and I grow, we all know people that have babies, and the first thing they want to say is, my kid walked at 8 months versus my kid walked at a year. My kid learned how to read at 1.5 versus my kid learned how to read at 3. My kid knew how to do math and add and subtract in the first grade versus my kid learned in the second grade. What we learned through all those experiences is, one, people try to brag on their kids, and half the time it's not true. But the other piece that we learn is that children, like adults, grow at their own time in their own season. You're no different. If you're doing great in your 40s versus your 20s, well, you just developed that skill, that desire a little later, right? And that's perfectly okay. Know that whatever you decide to do to self-improve, that you're doing it based upon your own timetable, your own happiness, your own peace and joy. So you understand that there is a dark side to that growth, and it's sometimes eliminating people out of your life, eliminating things out of your life so that you can improve. No good deed goes unpunished. No great improvement in yourself doesn't come without consequence. And if you're okay with that, and you're okay with pushing yourself forward, you're going to see everything and get everything you desire. If you think so, drop something in the comment section, hit a like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can get this excellent content fresh off the streets as it come out, and continue to watch. I'm Dr. J with 2 Doc Mommy.